Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, thank you for showing me the true meaning of happiness. Before I received one of your books, I didn't realise what true happiness was. I was a happy child. When I became a youth, I realised I wasn't happy. Rather, I was a very unhappy, negative youth. When I started chanting the Hare Krishna mantra and reading your books, I realised practicing Bhakti Yoga was a greater happiness than materialistic sense gratification. Thank you for showing me how to be happy. Your humble servant, Hare Krishna.
So next, I request Manjulata Deva Mataji to come forward.
I'm going to start by reading out what Kratu Maharaj himself, His Holiness Kratudas Ji Maharaj, has sent as an offering to Srila Prabhupada today. I've written it both in my own handwriting, just 1 second. I'll start with the prayer. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Iti Namine, Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatadesha Tarine. My dear spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to you. Srila Prabhupada, your glories are unlimited. You are very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers. Your commander of Mahaprabhu, sent by the Lord to deliver the whole world. Due to your tireless efforts and continuous traveling to every country, you transformed the places into Tirthasthanas, or holy places, and changed the hearts of people to become pure devotees of the Lord. Thank you for establishing the actual educational place for conditioned souls, which is Iskcon, where everyone can get highly educated on the spiritual platform. Thank you for everything you have done for entire mankind. You gifted the most precious Vedic education to the world. Thank you for establishing 16 rounds as minimum qualification to get initiation, which helps purify every Iskcon member and gradually helps develop love for Lord Krishna day by day. Your specialization is pure devotional service, and you taught us the same so that we can achieve ultimate goal of human life. Thank you very much for facilitating us with many temples where we can get together and engage in Mangala Aarti, chanting, reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, Sadhu Sangha, darshan of beautiful deities of Sri Sri Radha Krishna and Gaur Nitai, and a delicious Krishna Prasadam. Sunday Love Feast is the main attraction of Iskcon. You yourself cooked for Western people and took all the pain to make them devotees. They transformed from hippie to happy forever. You brought hundreds of Western devotees to India, and seeing them, many Indians got motivated and became pure devotees of Lord Krishna too. You have unlimited qualities and you are glorified even by demigods due to your incomparable contributions. I like your quality of unshakable faith in your Guru's instructions. In many of your lectures, you have mentioned that whatever success you got was due to your faith in your Guru. You accepted all struggles and pains to fulfill Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's instructions. When you got 2 heart attacks while traveling to US on a ship, in that emergency situation, there was no one to take care of you, no doctor available either. However, you knew how to surrender every situation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Due to your surrender, Krishna treated you himself. Even after entering an unknown country like America, despite being old, you stayed very bold and never compromised with the Vaishnava principles. No one knew about Lord Krishna in those countries, but you straightforwardly put Krishna's name when establishing Iskcon. Now here Guru Maharaj is talking about his journey a bit. He says, I joined Iskcon in Toronto, and thereafter you came to Toronto. You asked, who has joined nearly? They all said my name. You saw me and said, oh, he has already joined. Who else joined? Then you asked again, why people are not joining Bhakti movement? I replied, Prabhupada, because they are Mayavadis. That time you laughed, being pleased. Now this episode has left a great impact in my heart. I remember when you came at the airport and I, after offering a garland of roses, paid my obeisances to you, you placed your right foot on my head. Thus you distributed your kind mercy to me. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada, for everything. On this very special occasion, I want a boon from you that I can serve you tirelessly. I was working as a civil engineer when I met you in Toronto. You stated there are many engineers and doctors. You become a preacher. Kindly bless me that I may preach for my whole life and fulfill the words you stated. Your forever servant, Kratudas. Kratudas Ji Maharaj, he comes from an aristocratic Gaudiya family. So Bhakti has been sort of handed down by generations. So he's a very, very blessed soul, and he's contributed a lot towards Krishna consciousness. And bless him, even at the age of 79 years, he is still active and still doing us a lot of service. So that's from Kratudas Ji Maharaj. And I've got a very small prayer from mine and Bharat side. Bharat is my son. Revered Srila Prabhupada, kindly accept mine and Bharat's respectful obeisances. We are both grateful that your and Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda's mercy and grace have descended in our lives. We were uprooted and lost.
This happens sometimes. You want to take a break and do it later? Thank you. So, Jai Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you, the blessed Vyasa Puja. Please forgive my incompetence at attempting to write and offer you my deepest gratitude and thanks. Due to my committing sinful activities since time immemorial, I have been accustomed to speaking and behaving improperly all my life. Worst of all, I didn't even realize it. Entirely due to the Lord's causeless mercy, I had the ultimate good fortune of meeting some of your devotees. These very kind and enlightened souls gave me your literature to take away and read, which I did. Gradually, my clouded eyes began to see things a little more clearly. My stone heart of selfishness began to soften and expand, and my mind, instead of differentiating and judging, is now trying to understand and accept that all living entities are the Lord's eternal parts and parcels, because He is our Father, our well-wisher, and our best friend forever. Your literature and teachings, Srila Prabhupada, continue to have immense curative effects on such a lowly life form as myself. Because you translated the Lord's teachings and pastimes perfectly, that
I am indeed eternally indebted to you. I can only try and show how grateful I am by aspiring to try and live by your instructions and by trying to serve your devotees in any way I can. Thank you for bringing the light of knowledge to this long dark tunnel of nescience. Also, Srila Prabhupada, thank you for sending your very dear my life, to whom I am aspiring to be a servant to his very dear servants. My life is slowly but surely on course now, and that is all from you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, your insignificant servant, Jim.
So now I request Ram Nityananda Prabhu to come forward. Mataji, would you like to offer next? You are writing something? Yes. Yeah, okay, after Ram Nityananda Prabhu, you can come forward.
I offer my humble and sincere appreciation. Lord, you constantly ask this mission, best of love for you. This routine work of chanting, speaking, rising early, cleaning, cooking, and offering prasadam, reading books, these activities are the backbone of our society, and if we practice them nicely in a regulative manner, then our whole program will be successful. If anything else we try would fail. So it's very important that you keep your standards very constantly high in these activities, then your preaching work will be strong. Please forgive me for the mountain of offences I have committed in the worship, as well as the worship of my duties. I have no qualifications to write or say anything about your limited glory, Srila Prabhupada. I wanted to thank you as I remain ever grateful to you forever. Please forgive all my offences and inabilities. Your humble, aspiring servant, Ram
You okay? Shall we complete it? You want more time? Okay. So in the meantime, can I humbly request the devotees to make some room, if possible, so that our other devotees can come and join us? Only if possible.
I feel like at school actually, when sometimes we don't prepare for very important exam, I quickly like scribble some homework, but I hope I'll be forgiven, because I feel like it's really important to see what I've written. So first of all, I'd like to thank my forever Shiksha Guru and his divine love. My Shiksha Guru's name is Anandra Prabhu. He is in Lithuania, as far as I'm aware. He creates the most amazing Parapasita. And to be honest, his messages have like, I don't know how to say it now in proper English, but I do apologize. Like, they they're reaching me like they sort of like to be honest, by the divine, I feel like it's Lord Krishna's mercy for those messages to come to my heart, even through like a divine portal, if you will. So another thing, like thank you, Prabhupada, for sacrificing your happiness, because you I feel like Prabhupada could have stayed like very happily, like in the like such Tanandana body, but he left Goloka Vrindavan and has arrived here to save us, like especially like Mataji. I can see like how much we suffer in this world, and so I'm really like thankful. Not sure, you know, how much time I've got on this planet Earth, but I'm actually breathing due to the grace of the Lord. I want to say like Lord Prabhupada, but it's true. Like every single breath, it's like a gift from Prabhupada. I hope he will be aware of this one day. And another thing is like my hope, I hope I never shared it with anybody, but I hope like by the age of 40 I shall become an initiated devotee of my Shishya Guru Mantra Prabhu. That's it. And my name is Srila Mataji. Thank you.
So next, Yamuna Vilas Prabhu will be reading. Can Sundar Chaitanya do after Yamuna Vilas and Dhruv Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, dear Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. I want to begin my offering by saying that what I am going to speak. I am taking this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude in reciprocation to your unlimited compassion on myself and towards all living entities of the world. Srila Prabhupada, you have given us many matchless gifts in the form of your books, holy name, spiritual centers, which are not different than the spiritual world, and the opportunity to associate with devotees. Out of all gifts, 1.5 years, I was very fortunate to relish the association of many of your dear disciples here in United Kingdom. Also got the opportunity to serve them personally. By their association, I am able to experience your personal presence. Just like the pure devotees, wherever they go, that place becomes holy place because they carry Supreme Lord within their heart. Similarly, your dear disciples, because they always carry you in their heart, we can feel your presence through them. This year marked the 50th anniversary of Sri Radha Gokulanand, and we celebrated it grandly at Manor. I understood from the offerings of many of your disciples how dedicated and ready they are to surrender their lives for your pleasure. Hearing about their struggle in the early days, I feel that if I have even 0.00001% of that dedication, I could do something for your pleasure. Many devotees work tirelessly for the installation ceremony, even forgetting to eat and sleep for many days. Yet they remain blissful at the end. One such example is His Grace Yadubar Prabhuji and Vishakha Mataji, who at their elderly age still think about how they can serve you better through the restoration of your films for the benefit of the upcoming generation. This selfless attitude is a hallmark of your dear disciples. With many of your senior disciples leaving this planet now, I will do my best to seek their personal association by hearing from them and serving them. Srila Prabhupada, you are the embodiment of love and compassion. Love means to sacrifice for the pleasure of others. Recently, we have been reading your Lilamrit every night and in the morning as well. What inspires me the most is the amount of sacrifice you made and the struggles you went through during the 40 years after receiving the instructions from your Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to preach the message of Lord Chaitanya in the English language. I was contemplating which incident to share today, but I realized that your Lilamrit is like a nectar, and any incident from the book can inspire anyone. Last night I was reading about your challenges in obtaining money for visas for US, P forms and travel fares. The incident that truly touched my heart was when you used to walk 2 kilometers from Scindia Colony to Andheri station at the elderly age of 69 just to save money for printing Srimad Bhagavatam. Many people in Vrindavan wondered why you were involved in buying paper, printing books, when as a sannyasi you were expected to engage in bhajan in the holy dham of Vrindavan. Your thoughts, however, were always observed in fulfilling the mission of your Guru Maharaj. There was even an occasion when you didn't have enough money to buy a new dhoti kurta so that you could present yourself properly while distributing back to Godhead. From these incidents, I can understand that you endured many struggles solely for us and the upcoming generation. One incident that opened my eyes is the challenges that arose after Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left this planet. His disciples fought legal battles to claim ownership of the Gaudiya Math, and as a consequence, the preaching and the printing of the books, which were the main instructions of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, came to at halt. From this episode, I learned a very important lesson that while differences of opinion and sometimes arguments and quarrels may arise, the preaching and the service should never stop. Your last instruction conveys the same principle. If you want to show your love for me, please cooperate. Srila Prabhupada, this year is a very special year of my life. On January 3rd, I was given shelter by one of your dear disciples, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Of course, initiation is just the beginning of spiritual life. And with initiation comes the responsibility of assisting the Guru Parampara in spreading the message of Krishna consciousness. This April, we started a Friday youth preaching program here at Iskcon, Manchester, and around 25 students are regularly attending the program. You initiated this movement with youth preaching, sharing the matchless gift of Krishna consciousness with many young boys and girls. It was a challenge since in the initial days, American youth who knew nothing about Krishna were attracted to you because of your loving and caring nature, organizing the program, cooking for them, and taking care of them. Your love and care made their hearts fertile to receive the gift of Krishna consciousness and understand Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, we seek your blessings to attract many youths to the lotus feet of Krishna. Additionally, this year, His Holiness Dayanand Swami Maharaj has inspired me to get involved in Saturday Harinam service and book distribution. He said that it is very important that we go out and share this gift with others. It brings immense joy to my heart when I see people dancing to the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, especially the children's. This service will undoubtedly increase my faith in the holy name. Last year, Srila Prabhupada, I made a commitment to read at least half an hour of your books daily. By your mercy and the association of devotees, I was able to follow through with this commitment and would like to continue doing so. I have also made a commitment to read your Lilamrit by this year, but I am still far away from completing it. However, I will strive to finish it by next year. You mentioned that we can express our gratitude to you by receiving what you and the Guru Parampara are giving to us. Therefore, I will do my best to receive your gift of Krishna consciousness through attentive hearing, serving devotees, cooperating and developing good relationship with devotees, and sharing this gift with others. Please bless me, Srila Prabhupada, that I may always please you through my thoughts, words, and actions. Your insignificant servant, Yamuna Vilas Das.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I actually prepared my offering, and then while sitting here I got inspired and I added even more, and I think it may be too voluminous, so I will shorten it slightly. But I wanted to focus on this one thing that's really touched me this year has been, Srila Prabhupada, you can do everything. There is nothing that you cannot do. You are able to teach music. You're able to teach mridanga and harmonium to your devotees. You're a Sanskrit scholar. You're able to teach shlokas and explain grammar to devotees. You were a great teacher. You understood the complicated philosophy of the Goswamis and presented it to us in such a simple way, like baby food, so that we could eat it. You are the greatest theologian of recent times, and your logic and arguments know no bound. You are the greatest in terms of your loving relationships, so that every single disciple of yours feels you to be just like a loving father. You're the greatest Acharya because you have fulfilled the mission of Mahaprabhu. Pritivite Achayata Nagaradigram Sarvata Prachara Hoibe Modanan. You spread the movement of Mahaprabhu to every town and village. So Prabhupada, you could do everything. There is not a single thing that you could not do. In terms of management, you were the greatest manager, single-handedly managing the entire institution of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We see devotees nowadays struggling with many teams, projects and plans, but you single-handedly and deftly were able to take care of the whole process in such a smooth manner. Directly, you were the greatest because you directly implicated and taught the teachings of Rupa Goswami without deviation, and at the same time were able to adapt them according to the time, place and circumstance. Srila Prabhupada, you were the greatest in terms of inspiration by example, because you never taught anything which you did not practice yourself. You always practiced what you preached. Srila Prabhupada, you could do everything. There was nothing that you could not do. And you exemplified exactly what Vaishnavism is through your character. You epitomized exactly what it means to be a devotee. And all of this developed because you simply took complete shelter of the instructions of your spiritual master. The verse that you quote repeatedly, Yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyeva katita hyatma prakashante mahatmana. That all the imports of the Vedic literature are understood by one who simply surrenders to the Supreme Lord and their spiritual master. And although you met your spiritual master only 4 times and received only 2 instructions, you made your life's mission just to fulfill those 2 instructions. Those 2 instructions were the first one on the first meeting, that you should preach in the English language, and the second one being, whenever you get money, print books. And simply making this your life's mission, you showed the world that against all odds, against all difficulty, following the Guru, that the success will be there. And so I pray to do my part in the same way that you did your part. This year, I have accepted initiation in your parampara under the guidance of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And I have now formally, officially become a neophyte. Now I've started my journey, and by your mercy only I can make progress and continue. I pray that I also have the mood of serving Shri Guru in the same way you did, so that I can represent with my life and my actions the teachings which you have given us. Srila Prabhupada, I was reading from Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, that if someone were to kick or attack you, how angry we would get. But are we also kicking and attacking you by not following your instructions? I pray that in my life, I stop kicking and attacking you and start serving you by following the instructions that you have provided. These 4 principles are the essence of our spiritual life. Utility is the principle. How can I use this to serve Krishna? How can I use this to further Krishna consciousness and further the mission of Gauranga Mahaprabhu? Books are the basis. Prabhupada, you always emphasized to read your books. You put everything into your books and even translated them on your deathbed. You repeatedly instructed that we should read these books. These books are the essence of the Vedic literature, which contain all knowledge, all philosophy that one needs. In fact, there is no answer outside of these books, and I have seen that everything can be answered from within these books. These books are like diamonds, but if we do not have the knowledge, we may consider them to be ordinary pieces of glass. They are not just ornaments on shelves, but they are manuals for revolutions of humankind. So I pray that I can read these and apply these books in my life. These books can take us beyond everything, beyond Maya, through the modes, beyond the modes, beyond Brahman and the impersonal liberation, and take us all the way to the shelter of Lord Krishna. And this is what you have provided us. These books are the basis. You explained that purity is the force. Everything that you did, Srila Prabhupada, you did because you had purity in your heart. One time, when all the devotees offered obeisances, you explained to them, do you know why you're all offering obeisances? And they said, why, Prabhupada? And you said, because I have conquered sex desire. You were the emblem of purity. There was nothing that you did which goes contrary in any way, shape or form to the principles and the teachings of Rupa Goswami. You lived the most pure life, and you always emphasized repeatedly that the mission was successful because you always just repeated the words of your spiritual master without any manufacturing. And of course, the 4th principle, preaching is the essence. You could have simply stayed in Vrindavan at the age of 69, but you came to the West, suffering 2 heart attacks on the way, with great difficulty managing to get a ticket from Sumati Maharaji, for fallen souls like me to be part of the movement. I was recently hearing from Chaitanya Prabhu. The definition of mercy means that which we receive, which we do not deserve. And Srila Prabhupada, you are the emblem of mercy. There is nothing we can do to repay you. There is nothing we can do to serve in the same way that you have given us. The least we can do is just to follow the instructions that you provided and carrying on giving this mission. This year, at the University of Cambridge, I've been involved in the preaching for the Krishna Consciousness Society. So far, we have had weekly sanghas, where we have read In Essence and Chant and Be Happy. And 4 devotees are chanting 4 rounds, while several others are chanting 1 round, all by your mercy. Alongside that, Prabhupada, we've had so many events with devotees such as Chaitanya Prabhu and Naveen Krishna Prabhu, wherein newcomers at universities have been attracted and of their spiritual life simply from presenting what you have stated in your books. I realize that your books have unlimited power and potency. One time you retorted when someone asked what will happen to the movement if you die, you said, I will never die. I will always live in my books, and you will utilize. And so I see that you are truly present there in those books. Alongside that, I've been serving in Pandav Sena Manchester. And if we are the Pandava Sena, you are the Senapati Bhakta. You are our military commander, and we try and adhere and simply loyally serve you. Please allow us to continue this service. We currently have morning sanghas regularly, where the boys are being trained in the preaching of Krishna consciousness on Monday and Tuesday. where they relish your glories from the Lilamrit on Wednesday, and where they are trained in other skills to serve you on Thursday and Friday. This is all happening by your mercy, and nothing can happen without your mercy. I pray that these projects in serving you will be able to do something. Only by your mercy these things are happening, and only by your mercy will they continue to grow. Srila Prabhupada, I'm made of your mercy, and I simply request that I can continue serving you all my life. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Sundar Chaitanya Prabhu ki jai. This is
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Very belated happy birthday to you, Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. So on this special day, we all express gratitude to the Lord for sending you to us. I was just reading and listening to some of my previous offerings to you, and I always mentioned that I was too young to read and understand your books. But I think now I have fully matured enough. I finally matured enough to read, understand, and even attempt to share the knowledge that you have so wonderfully translated and analyzed for us. So I again thank you, Srila Prabhupada. This year about the number, but I felt it was more about the interactions that I had with the people who were standing and admiring the procession. Hopefully I was able to plant some sort of seed, so perhaps later in this life, or maybe in the next life, they can become devotees. I hope this was just the beginning of my book distribution, as I have some big shoes to fill, my father. So once again, I thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for allowing me to be of some use to spreading knowledge. Just a few months ago, many of us had the wonderful opportunity to have some association with your dear disciples. Many beautiful and interesting narrations of the struggles to get hold of the Bhaktivedanta Mana. Shivram Maharaj, during a little seminar, mentions and emphasizes the point that Iskcon youth of today should spend some time in the ashram to understand the struggles that many of the devotees went through to fight to continue the movement, but also for dedicating time to study scriptures and take up more service. After some persuasion from Hungary and France, I'm considering spending time in the ashram and studying the books that you so kindly translated for us. This year, my mom took initiation from His Holiness Srila Swami Maharaj, Nandini Gopika Devi Dasi. My father also took one more step and took Brahmin initiation. I have a wonderful grandmother here, Gaurarati Devi Dasi, who's my inspiration for deity worship and reading of the scriptures. My grandparents in India are getting more engaged with their local Iskcon temples, distributing books, helping out with Food for Life, and going on yatras with the local devotees. My trips to my grandparents have now become more about progressing my spiritual life. So once again, I thank you, Srila Prabhupada, for allowing me to become more focused and slowly develop my sadhana as much as possible. Also, Srila Prabhupada, I can't thank you enough for surrounding me with such a great community. It is the Manchester devotees who are engaging me in so much service. Without them, I wouldn't even be here. If I remember correctly, my parents were telling me that if it wasn't for some of the Manchester devotees, we would have been back in India, as my dad was here on a work visa. And so I would have missed out on this wonderful movement you've created. The ecstatic kirtans, delicious prasadam, and the beautiful darshans of the deities. And so, as Radha Maharaj said in his offering, more than ever, we need each other to share strength and wisdom, to seek shelter in Hari Kirtan, Hari Katha, Vaishnav Seva, and Jivataya. It is possible if we all earnestly seek shelter in your divine grace as our highest aspiration. And so once again, Srila Prabhupada, I thank you for everything. Your humble servant, Dhruv.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, you are a savior, a courageous leader, and a hero to all that follow you. You have saved countless souls and lifted them to a higher consciousness. You have awakened the world to serve a higher purpose. You showed real determination and courage as you endured countless hardships at such an old age. You did the unthinkable, and with that made the world a better place. You showed a path that leads and brings true happiness and fulfillment. Your glories are endless, your heart is the sweetest. You gifted the world the holy name. Recently I was able to go to America. Seeing your devotees in America allowed me to see the dedication your devotees have to you and how many lives you have changed on a wider spectrum. I was able to serve some of your devotees in America, and I can truly say I had fun, and my perspective has changed in general of just the movement and in general, because I didn't really have fun doing some of these services. And I hope someday, sometime in the future, I'm able to make a viable contribution to help the movement further. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharina Nirvisheshi Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatayini Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Prabhupada ki jai. I stand before so many senior and profound Vaishnavas and our Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada himself. It is therefore evident that I do not belong here amidst all of you, nor am I worthy of contributing anything to any of you or Srila Prabhupada. Dear Prabhupada, without you and your movement, there is no guidance, structure or purpose for all of us, because you have given us the matchless gift of Krishna consciousness and the spiritual path to walk on with guided directions at every turn. If I can be of use in some way to you, your servants, and your movement, then my life is successful. Not even Sri Shyam Sundar himself can get rid of all